I'm so like excited that we're doing this right now. I've been thinking about doing this for so long. By the way, you're my first YouTube guest. So
Oh yeah?
yes,
Dope.
you are blessed.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are my first YouTube guest. And this is something I've been thinking about for years. But I don't know, it just never came to me. And I feel like I didn't realize I know so many people that would be willing to do this with me until like literally a week ago. And you're the first person that came to mind, to be honest with you. And I was like, I'm just gonna text her. And of course I text you and you were like, no problem, Miriam, like always. And then, so thank you so much for doing that. We didn't choose a topic because I told you that I wanted to surprise you. And yeah, I didn't even know what I was going to talk about till this morning. Like I was telling you earlier, I woke up as I was getting ready to come sit here and run my mouth. I was like, okay, oh, I know what we could talk about. So what we're going to talk about is priorities.
Okay.
Priorities. And I don't know how to start this conversation, but we got to start somewhere because it's called Let Us Talk About It. So we're going to talk about it, anything. And the question I wanted to first ask you is, do you believe that priorities can reflect on your intention?
If it can reflect on my intention, tell me a little bit more what you mean by that?
For example, do you believe that, like priorities are something that most people would say is what's important to you? That's like the simple definition of it. So what's important to you? So do you believe that your priorities, what's important to you, would reflect your intentions? So I believe also your intentions are something that is pure, something that is most important to you, something you want to do. So I think they go hand in hand, priorities and intention. Yeah. So that's why actually, do you believe that your priorities can reflect your intentions and your intentions can also reflect your priorities? Like,
yeah, I do believe so, that your priorities can reflect your intention. How I'm interpreting what you're asking is, okay, whatever my priority is reflects kind of who I am and what motivates me and what I care to do and why I care to do it, right? So with that kind of interpretation, I would say, yeah, for sure it does. Because if, for example, I go to work and my priority is to make a quick buck, then it means I may not intend to be my best self when I'm at the job. It means that I may not intend to do my best work at the job. It means I may not intend to communicate and interact with my coworkers in such a way that I leave an impact, a great impact on them and all that good stuff. So I may just want to go in there so that I could get a check. Right. So if my priority is making money when I do this job, then everything else takes the back seat. Everything else, like being present at your workplace and doing a fantastic job of it, at it, going above and beyond, you know what I'm saying? Those things take the back seat. But if my priority are those things that I just listed, then maybe the money won't necessarily be necessarily in the passenger seat. It is still important because we need money to live, okay? But you know, yeah, I do believe that there's definitely a relationship between priority and your intentions, your motivation, what your motive is. Why is it you're doing whatever it is you're doing?
Okay. And the following question is, before I start running my mouth, because I'm just dying to talk. The following question is, do you also think that one, for example, do you think that one supports the other? For example, do you feel like, okay, what my priorities are would follow my intentions? For example, okay, let's say my intentions are pure and my intentions are to like help this person elevate in their career. That's my intention. So I will do anything to help this person elevate in their career. Do you think that because my intentions are that, it's going to be the number one priority? Or do you think that it's two different things? I don't know if I'm making sense or if I'm making you confused.
Yeah, No, it makes sense. So I definitely believe that if my intentions are pure to help this older person, get across the street, then my priorities will follow.
Okay.
For sure. It will
Yeah.
follow suit. So I don't see how they could be right now in this moment. I don't see how those two things could be separate. I think they have to go hand in hand because it's my priority.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't have a priority and not have it some way be associated with whatever my goal is or whatever my intention is. So if my goal is to, I don't know, be a millionaire by the end of this year, then my priority would include budgeting. My priority would include, you know what I'm saying? So one thing informs the other. It can never, I can't want to be a millionaire and then just sit on it and spend all my money.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I think the relationship between those two things are. They go hand in hand. They can't be separate. Otherwise, the goal that you have in your mind that you want to achieve, it will never be achieved if you never prioritize.
I think that's the answer I was actually looking for, and you've just said it. So if your priority, if your intention, let's just say your intentions are that you want to become a millionaire, and everything you're doing from that point and on, your priorities have to reflect. So that's the answer. Like, that's all I wanted to. I knew in my head that was the answer I was looking for, because what I was asking can seem a bit confusing. And I feel like a lot of times, even me, I always like to talk about myself first. For example, me, like I feel like for so long, and I didn't know the difference, to be honest. And I didn't know how to make them like work. I didn't know how to make them work together. So a lot of times I would have a certain intention, but my priorities are left. And then out of nowhere, I see that it's not working. Like, I would say my priorities weren't straight, but my intentions were, I always knew what my intentions were, but my priorities weren't straight. My intentions would be, for example, let's just say my intentions would be to write a book, right? But my priorities, my actions actually did not reflect my intentions. Like, I want to write a book, but I'm not doing anything that's going to help me finish this book. When I get up in the morning, I'm doing A, B, and C, and the A, B, and C is not reflecting my intentions at all. And then I would sit there and wonder why I am not finished with this project. That's because my priorities did not align with my intention. And I feel like there's so many of us out there who are wondering, why can I meet my goal? Why can I finish this project? Why, this and that? But I don't think they have took a seat in the corner, like I would like to say, I always say, and really think about it and say, is my priorities following my intentions? Like, I feel like,
even as you're talking, and you say intentions, I'm now, thinking intentions are kind of like dreams, right? It's kind of like when you have all these big dreams and you sit on it, you do nothing about it. But because your dreams are so great and beautiful and pure, and the whole world should want to back you up on it because it's just such a wonderful thing that will impact you and everybody around you, and So you're thinking you think the world owes it to you.
Yeah.
Make sure your dream comes true, to make sure that your plans come to fruition.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're sitting in a corner doing absolutely nothing. And so I'm really big on talking about dreams and passions and purpose and all them stuff, but I'm also just as passionate about talking about practical steps you can take towards achieving those goals that you have, and what can you do to ensure that that dream happens, right? Because you have the dream, that is what motivates you to now get up, and that's what informs you on how to live, actually. Your dreams, because sometimes we don't know what our purpose is, and it seems like such a big old question, so big, and that it's hard to answer, but the answer is in whatever you're very passionate about. Sometimes that's exactly where you find what it is you're supposed to do with your life. So if you don't know this morning you woke up, you don't know what you were really supposed to do, but what did you dream about? What is it that you think about on a constant basis? What is it that you think about often that really stirs you up inside?
Mhm.
Maybe we should start now to figure out how we can make that happen, how we can make that your reality.
Mhm.
And then the steps you're going to take to make that your reality is how you live your life. That is where you can now find and build your lifestyle.
Yes.
Right.
And
So
that
yeah,
is
it's
action. Action, 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 action.
action.
Because
Is that
dreams are just dreams if you do not take actions. And this morning, or I was sitting here and I said to myself, intentions equal action, priorities equal action, choices equal action. And this is why I came up with this priority and intention stuff, because everything involves action to make it work. You could have intentions with no actions is nothing. You can have priorities with no actions is nothing. Choices with no actions is nothing. And one of my favorite quotes to always say, and anyone who knows me for such a long time would tell you that my favorite quote to say is, actions speak louder than words. I'm so big on that because actions will reflect so many things in our life. Like you said, dreams, you could have the biggest dream and you could have the, biggest vision. But if you just sit in your house all day and watch Netflix, which I've done for a long time, but not now, and just sit home and watch Netflix all the time, it's like, what do you think? What's going to happen to your dreams? Nothing. You're just sitting there. Sometimes you might not even know what to do. You might not even, have a blueprint. You might not even, know the first step to take. But some step is better than no step.
Yeah.
Taking some action is better than nothing, because they always say one thing leads you to another. So you might start doing things backwards. For example, let's say you want to build a business, right? And you've been thinking about this business for so long, and in your head you have this wonderful plan, right, that you don't have on paper yet, blueprint, and you don't have any, you don't know what to do, A, B, C, and D, and E, and you have no idea what to do. And I've come across so many people that are saying, well, I want to build a business and I want to do this and I want to do that, but at the end of the day they always say, I don't have a blueprint and I don't know what to do first. I tell them this: when I first thought about my business, let us talk about it, coaching, I kid you not, I did not know what to do. And I'm one of those people, and I do not, whoever's listening, don't do this because it might not work for you. But I'm one of those people that thinks about the consequences later. I would say, let me do what I have to do now, and I'll worry about the consequences later. So I thought about this life coaching thing. Actually, it happened over the pandemic when everybody was stuck in their house, and I decided to. I was sick and tired of not doing, like, I wanted to do one thing and everything else I was already doing would fall under that thing. Basically, the life coach is what I want to do, but I wanted everything that I was already doing to fall under the umbrella. Right. And honestly, I had never really heard of a life coach before, but I started doing research and stuff like that. And I finally figured out, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm already a public speaker, an inspirational speaker. I'm already a writer, an influencer, but what is the one thing I can do that can just reflect all of that? So let's just say, for example, my intentions was to be a life coach, but my priorities were to be a public speaker and whatever. So in my case, I already had my intention and my priority, but I had to make them sync regardless of what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm making any sense, and if I'm not, help me so I can make it very clear for everyone. So I wanted to make sure that everything was reflecting each other. And this is where I decided, okay, I'm going to actually make this into a real business because it's already something I'm doing. In that case, it wasn't that hard for me because I already knew what I wanted to do. The hardest thing for me was, what do I do first? Right. So I started to say, okay, since I want to make it into a business, I have to LLC the company or whatever I want to do with the company. I want to make it official, but I didn't know that, I had to create a website before I can LLC it, because when you're doing during the LLC, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while, they're going to ask you, do you have a website? So when I started to do my research, I didn't do much research. I just jumped into trying to create the LLC. But when I got to a certain point, I realized that I needed to create a website. So I just stopped doing that. I went ahead, researched it, and then I started to create my website. I created my own website. It took me about a month to do it because I did not have the budget to hire anyone to create this website for me. Right. And that's another thing. so many people are scared to start a business because they don't have the budget. And that's I mean, marketing alone in business is a lot of
Yeah.
money. And
It's a
most
lot of
people don't have
money,
that.
but it can also not be a lot of money. You
Yes.
know, you can find, it's so easy nowadays. Social media is one
Yeah.
thing that I know I'm very grateful for. It
Yeah.
has, you know, it has brought a lot of attention to my page and to my business. And if it didn't do that, at the very least, it's made me bolder.
Yeah.
Because when I engage in conversations like these, it's because I've practiced on social media. When I do like a TikTok thing, you know, that helped me to find my funny side and let it come out and let other people see it and not be afraid to let people see that Shanice is actually a big clown, you know. So those things help you as a business person to be bolder, and it helps you to connect with people too, because when you see comments popping up under your post that you are subconscious about, you were feeling a little insecure about, somebody, you know, comments on it, and then all of a sudden there's this connection, all of a sudden y'all are communicating from, you know, so there's an informal version of networking that is going on that is also necessary. So it's good for your business, but it's also good for you, the individual, right? You're getting bolder, you're getting more confident in what it is you're presenting, in whatever your service is. You're getting more confident in who you are, and you're getting more comfortable talking with people. So social media alone does a lot for you. You don't have to wait until you have money to start your business. You don't have to wait until you have money to make your business official. You know, maybe you don't have the means right now to attach 3 letters to your business name, LLC. You know what I'm saying? And that's totally fine. So just start off with what you have right now. All you really need is your passion. All you really need is your passion. That's your motivation right there. And then you start taking your steps. Okay, because if I was to wait until everything was perfect before I posted it, I wouldn't be here now. And I don't consider here as the end all be all. For me, I still have a far way to go, but I'm a far cry from where I first started.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal to me. Right. And it's all because, especially when I post things on social media, I let it happen even when I see all the imperfections. I just let it happen. I post it. So I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not waiting for money. I'm not waiting for a business strategist to help me out. I'm not waiting for somebody who has been an entrepreneur for years to come advise me. No, I'm going to go do my thing. And funny enough, when you go do your thing, you attract all the help that you once were waiting on. Right? Because I've attracted the help of people who would either just give me one quick advice, or they just say, hey, I see you doing your thing. I really like that. And then they want to, you know, talk with me a little bit more and give me a little, you know, nugget here and there. So definitely start your thing when you're not ready. Start it when you're not ready, because you will never be ready. Especially if you care a lot about it, you will always try to be a perfectionist about it. Post the post. Start the business, right? Talk to who you need to talk to. And honestly, just people seeing you going hard for your business is what's going to attract them to you.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought up the whole social media situation. I'm laughing because there are so many people, business owners, or people who just post on social media for just fun. They're so fixated on likes and comments.
Yeah, I can't. If I was fixated on the likes, I wouldn't even bother post anything anymore.
Listen, I bring this up because so many people have stopped posting, especially business owners. They have stopped posting, and even regular people that just, like I said, just post for fun have stopped posting because they don't get enough likes. This is my take on this. Likes do not determine who you are. It does not determine who what your business is. It does not determine your net worth. It doesn't determine anything. People, whether somebody likes your post or not, people are watching. It's social media.
I'm about to say,
Believe me, people are watching. And I thank God for this, that I never depended on a like on social media. I actually post, and I'm not on there every 5 seconds checking who's liking it and who's not, because I know it does not determine my business. It does not determine who I am. My likes do not reflect on my life.
Yeah.
they're just, I guess they're just there. So you know that someone, I guess you feel supportive or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And also I do believe that most people go so hard for these likes because of the algorithm in social media. In social media, for example, I've heard that, quote unquote, this is not my word, but I heard that the more likes you get, the more Instagram will just show everyone your post or whatever it is. Like I said, I didn't waste my time to really get into the research of that department. But what I want to say is that social media does not determine who you are. It does not determine your business. I know of people, and actually know people who own successful, very successful businesses, and who
And
are
don't have a
very
social media
successful,
presence.
and they don't have a social media account, number one. And number two, they do have their account, and when they do post, they probably are getting the most 10 likes on Instagram and
Yeah.
probably 2 likes on Facebook. But if they could not spend all the money, if they wanted to spend it, because that's how much it showed me that social media does not reflect on what your business stand for. So I would encourage those who think that the likes is what is going to make their business grow, to just ignore that. Post as much as you can. If you can post 5 times a day, which I can't even think about posting once a day, I think it's very time consuming, but it's necessary that you do it. But if you can post as much as you can, okay, because people are watching. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And I want to just kind of deviate off of the business aspect of this posting situation on social media as well. I want to, and I've said this in my past videos on YouTube. First of all, don't let the likes determine who you are. I've literally seen people get upset and depressed because they posted something and received 2 likes or 3 likes, and they would actually go to a point where they're going to actually message their friends or ask someone, go and like my picture or and post. This has happened to me. I've had some people literally text me or call me and say, Miriam, go like my post. And in my head, I don't know if it's because I'm different, but in my head, I'm sitting and thinking, are you seriously like texting me right now and asking me to go like your post? Like, I couldn't get it, and I still don't get it. But again, this shows that, people really depend their happiness on these likes. And personally, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is thank God that I woke up. My first thing is not turning to my phone and seeing how many people like the post I posted the day before. I always say, don't like yourself before anyone else can like you, or social media can like you before your husband can love you, before your boyfriend can love you, before anyone. You have to love yourself before anything can love you. Social media, anything, especially social media. And I keep saying social media because it's like, I cannot stretch enough about how many people just are so like fixated on the likes on social media. It has affected so many people. I know of someone who actually went to therapy because of this. Like, I'm not even kidding.
So it seems like a very on the surface problem that, why are you this cut up about getting 2 likes? It's not that serious. But really, the 2 likes on social media, it really represents something deeper. It represents you not being validated. And that's a valid
concern. Are looking for validation through social media.
And that's a valid concern. It's a legit thing to be caught up about not receiving validation. Human nature is that you want to be received by somebody else. You want to have this sense of belonging. You want to belong to a group of people. That's why when we grow up, we kind of, let me speak for myself. When I grew up, I wanted to have a best friend. And anytime I didn't have one, I would feel some type of way about it. If I didn't have that one friend that I knew me well, that, I could always be side by side with in any public space, then I would feel like a loner. I would feel like I don't belong to anyone, right? So that was my thing in high school. And then I eventually had to, come to grips with the fact that, hey, if you don't have a best friend, that's totally fine. You have friends that matter to you that'll show up in the seasons that they need to and will pour into you the way they need to pour into you, and vice versa. I'm a seasonal friend to some people also, right? But it really took years. It took just years for me to get to that point, because I first just only cared about validation. So when it came to the point where I love myself enough that your like is extra, right?
Yep. You made
When it
yourself a
comes,
priority first.
yeah, you made yourself a priority. You made it about you. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, and I. And I don't do it in a bitter way. Like, oh, I don't like anybody before. I'm not
No,
gonna be
we all
anybody.
need somebody.
Anybody,
We
yeah, like
all need somebody
let's
with
not,
human nature.
yes, let us not forget the fact that we do need each other,
Yes.
but know how to need and love and want yourself
First.
first.
Yes.
Don't depend entirely on
On
somebody
someone
else
else.
to
Yes.
do that for you.
Mm.
So know and love yourself first. And I think when you understand that, then the 2 likes won't affect you as much. Because even today, when I do a post, whether it be for my business or personal, but really we want to veer from business, but it's really for business that I post on social media these days. I will put a lot of effort into the post, into the content, right? And if I get very few likes, yeah, and yeah, it's very time consuming. And if I get few likes for it, I can feel underappreciated very easily, right? But like you said, sometimes you just have to remember the value of your own business. It's the same way you have to remember the value of yourself. So when you remember that and not let that be affected by other people's opinions or other people just deciding to double tap or not double tap, then you'll be in a much better headspace. But
Yep.
it's just to let anybody who's listening who feels kind of attacked by this, like you're not being criticized for feeling some type of way for getting 2 likes. It's a normal emotion. It's a normal feeling because it kind of represents rejection. It
Yes,
kind
it
of
does.
represents, yeah, that you're not being looked at, and everybody wants attention. Some don't want a lot, some want less attention than others, but everybody wants attention.
We're human. We all want that attention, and we want to feel that love, and we want to feel wanted. We want to feel accepted. We want to. We just. We want to walk around where everybody's saying, "Oh my God, look at so and so." Is that
you want it?
It's like that celebrity life that everyone want deep down inside. So it's a journey to get to a place where you tell yourself in your mind, and you're like, okay, social media is not going to determine the outcome of my day. I'm not going to be down and sad all day because I had to regardless of my I'm still going to, run my business. I'm still going to get up and attack that goal that I wanted to attack. I'm still going to be me. I'm going to show up 100%, and show who I am and what I stand for. My morals and beliefs will not be affected by social media. I am still the same person regardless of the like. I love me first before anyone can love me. Because honestly, when you love yourself before anyone can love you, it's so strong. And when you get the taste of it, I'm not saying you won't care about anyone else. Like I've said before, we all need someone, but it will not affect you. You're still going to get up and be that person that you are. You're still going to attack that business. Your intentions and your priorities will just match, and it will flow. And little by little, you will see those likes going up. It would happen. Those likes will start going up because the ones that are not liking it and the ones that are pretending that they're not seeing it are going to be motivated by you, even though they don't tell you. They're going to be inspired by you. They're going to be like, oh my God, she was getting, or he was getting 4 likes and 2 likes and 1 like, but look at them now. They're growing, they're pushing themselves, even though they don't know that at the end of the day, at night, you're sitting there like, oh my God, feeling all sad and depressed and just feeling down, feeling like you're doing something wrong. And this is why a lot of people believe that they need a business advisor. Yes, you do need a business advisor to a point, but if you don't have the budget right now, you are what you have. And those are who are supporting you are who you have. So you continue to thank and appreciate those who are supporting you. You continue to let them know that you are grateful to have them in your life, because it's hard to find someone who's going to support you unconditionally and believe in you, sometimes even more than you believe in yourself, and who would probably call you and say, you know what, you're doing a good job, keep going. Continue to build a better and healthy relationship with those people in your life right now, instead of looking for new people to come and support you. And this brings me to another topic where we get upset over the time when we don't feel supported by our family. We don't feel supported by our friends. We don't feel supported by our husband, our wife, our girlfriends, and whoever it is. And I've heard so many people, and it's when I go on this social media feed, which I barely do, all I see, especially someone who's trying to start a business, and I'm not calling anyone out because I really don't know anyone like that, but all I see is, oh, your own family won't support you, your own friends won't support you. These posts, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those posts, but if you want someone to support you and your dreams, that's great. We all want support, but it is not their job to support you, because that vision that you have is your vision.
Yours.
It's clearly your vision. God gave it to you. So if someone don't understand your vision, and someone do not see your vision, you can't be mad at them, right?
Because the truth is,
it's your vision.
The truth is, they have their own lives.
They all have their own life, and they have their own priorities. They have their own vision. They have their own, things that they want to do. So if they don't support your vision, or you feel like they're not supporting you enough, and going back to the likes and not liking all your pictures and not commenting under all your pictures, you can't be mad at them. You go ahead and you follow that dream, and those who will follow will follow. Those who will not will not. But you go ahead and you continue to follow your dreams, okay? Because that vision is yours. God gave it to you. Everyone has their own vision, and there is enough to go around for everybody on this universe. So you can't feel like somebody's dimming your light or anything. No one can dim your light. What God gives you is yours. No one can take it away from you. And if you believe that and you stand on it, you will not have any problems. Major. You'll still have
and
problems.
then also, I was thinking about, as you were talking, what happened to those who they started off, maybe it wasn't a vision of theirs, or it wasn't their own vision, but it was a shared vision, maybe between them and their spouse, or them and their friend, right? And so both of them, in the beginning of, in the early stages of whatever dream or goal they have, they're thinking, yes, we're going to work at this together, it's going to happen, and they're both equally passionate. But along the way, life happens to each of them, and then one person is still going towards this dream to make it happen, and the other person is veering off now because they got 2 kids that just got born, the other day, and they got to tend to their kids and their wife and all that jazz. So it becomes, okay, what do you do then? Because I can understand the partner who is still going after that dream feeling bitter about, the other person who was supposed to be working towards this dream as much as they are, but they got sidetracked, or, what do you do at that point? That's the question that came to mind. And I would say that the person who is still going for that dream, that no longer has a partner who is just as passionate, you still go towards that dream, because there's such a thing as you initially having that dream be shared. There's such a thing as having that initially be shared, and then as you progress, it becoming only yours. That's a possibility, because maybe in the beginning stages, it was supposed to be between you and that other person. Maybe both of y'all were supposed to work towards that happening. Maybe both of y'all were supposed to build the foundation of that business, right? For example, or build the foundation of whatever goal or dream that you guys have. But maybe it was for you to carry it to the very end. You alone to carry it to the end. And so I think that as we progress in life, and as, we are doing our business and moving towards our goals, don't get mad at people, right? You can be disappointed, but don't let that disappointment overwhelm you. Don't let it stop you from moving forward. You have to still keep going, and you can take a day or 2 off of just lamenting. That's fine.
I always say it takes 2 to 3 business days to get over it.
Right, get 2 to 3 business days, keep a little, pity party and all that good stuff, but you gotta have an end time to that pity party.
I don't have time to be sitting there feeling sorry for myself.
Right, it is midnight,
and I got people to inspire.
Exactly. You look at your clock, you say, or your watch, and you be like, "Ooh, look at that! It's midnight." Wipe your tears, and you go get back on that horse and get
your big boy pants on, or put big woman pants on. Just go, whatever you want to put on. Just go.
Exactly. So I'm really speaking to people who might have started off with a partner, a business partner, and then that partner just kind of veered off for whatever reason. Allow yourself to be disappointed for a little bit. It's okay. It's normal, because you're passionate about what it is you're doing. Yeah. So it's totally fine. But because you are still passionate about it, speaks to the fact that you should be the one to carry that mantle, that torch across to the finish line. And that's okay. And God will send the right people to you in the seasons that
open doors that you never imagined.
Right. Opening doors you never imagined, all right? Or because now you're doing it on your own, you feel alone. But honestly, by tomorrow, when you're making that next step, there's somebody here holding your hand to get you to that step. And then maybe that person won't be there the next day, but then you have another person coming in to hold your hand to take you to the next step. And so you will always have someone there that you need when you need them. And if there's no one there, it's because you can do it.
Yes.
You have you. There's something that you mentioned earlier, Mary. You have yourself.
Yes.
And that's so true. And we need to understand that we are a good resource. We are a good enough resource.
Oh, we have the resources. Just got to sit down, think deep, meditate. That's why meditation is kind of important. And I'm actually going to have someone here, a dear friend of mine. She's a yoga instructor in the next, on the 4th. I'm not sure, but it's in April. I'm going to announce it. She's a yoga instructor, and she's going to talk about meditation and the importance of meditation. So I can't wait to have her on here. Yeah. And I wanted to like cut you off so bad when you were talking about the whole business partner and and then people's life just drifting and things happening, because it's like we're on this journey and this life journey never ends, right? I understood that at a very, very young age, that because there was a point where I was telling myself I'm on a life journey thinking that I need to find out a certain thing. And when I find out these things, it's over. I have found myself. But I realized that every day I'm learning new things about myself. I'm coming across things that I have never imagined that I would be doing or going through or come across in these situations. And so I figured that life journey never ends till the day you die. Even after the day you die, your, I guess your spirit or, what you have left behind still matters. People will still talk about that if it's something you left behind that's very important and strong. So when you said something about the whole business partner situation, it just kind of put a smile on my face. Yes, it put a smile on my face because I was in a similar situation, but my situation actually helped me grow as a person. And my relationship with my business partner actually grew and became stronger. The trust built it, and the respect was always there, and it just got stronger. It wasn't like there was no respect. And I'm gonna make this story short. So long story short, I also had realized in that situation that I had a dream that I also wanted to follow. That dream that, the dream that I guess the business that I was in, I loved it. It was my baby, the first business I ever had. And that's where I've learned so much about businesses and, the ins and out and just so many things. And that's why when I started my own business, it wasn't a walk to the park. And it was not, I think you said this last time when I said, building a business is hard. You said, no, it's challenging. So I, came across my challenges, but I knew that I can, get over the hurdles and stuff. So what happened is that I finally realized that, I wanted to follow my own dreams. And, the business that we were in, I felt like it wasn't my dream, but it was something I loved doing. I appreciated it so much. And it was actually, I called it my baby. And then I said to myself, I said, well, I can always come back and help my partner build her business later on when I am successful in my own business. Because people think that, you need to be like-minded with someone in order to help them. No, you don't. You could be a dishwasher and someone could be someone who washes, cars or whatever, or you could be a dishwasher and you could be with somebody who's a lawyer, and you guys can still mentor each other. And this is what another mentor of mine was talking about. So I said to myself, I'm going to go and follow my own dreams, and I will always be more than happy to help, my partner develop their business. And that's what I did. That's when I thought about my LLC, my life coaching business. I created, my website, and I have, started building my clientele and all those things. And I also said to myself, one day when I was sitting in my living room, just thinking, to myself and talking to myself, I said, if you don't build your own business and you don't follow your own dreams, you will eventually help someone else build their own business and follow their own dreams. So, but you have to have strength. You have to believe in yourself. You cannot, grow your vision and develop on your vision if you're really sitting there waiting for someone else to do that for you. And I don't even think that's possible, to sit there and really let someone else, tell you these things. You have to believe in yourself so much where you cannot sleep at night, and you have to get up every morning and you breathe this vision. You think about it day and night. You can't even go to sleep at night. That's what was happening to me. I was so sick and tired of having all these priorities, and everyone keep telling me, oh my God, Miriam, you have so much priorities and you have so much this and you have so much that. I got sick and tired of hearing it. And I got sick and tired of myself, really. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? I felt like, and it wasn't even a feeling. I was not doing enough. Okay, I wasn't doing enough, for my own vision and for my own dream. And I felt like also I was just waiting for some kind of sign from God in the universe to tell me, go get up and do this thing and go get up and attack this thing. I just got so sick and tired of myself. And now anyone else for not following my dream, because half of the time I'm upset is not with anyone else, it's with myself, because it's no one's job to tell me to get up and do what I have to do. I have to believe in myself so much where I just get up in the morning and go for it, regardless of what's going to happen, regardless of the what ifs and, my failures or anything, which I don't even think failures are a negative thing, but that's another conversation. So you have to believe in yourself enough to, make those choices and say, okay, my business partner was once here and now they have other priorities and their life has changed and they want to go, let them go. Let them go and do what they have to do. What is meant to be will be, and what is not meant to be will not be. But that does not mean, that person is not supportive, or they're not loyal, or they're not a good business partner. No, things happen in people's life, and you have to accept the fact that that's what life is made out of. It's a journey. That person did not know that was going to happen. I'm sure if they did, they would have never jumped in this business with you, or decided to do this thing with you. And you have to also remember, the first time you asked that person to become a business partner with you is because you saw something in them. You saw their strength, you saw their good skills that they have. So you went out and you asked them. But when something happens to them, you have to be respectful enough and say, okay, I respect your decision. And, you just continue that relationship you guys have. You don't become bitter towards them. You don't go around just, saying stuff about them, or they just left me in a business. No, it's most likely your dream. You follow that dream and you keep going. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And people, the more of my story is, be okay when your business partner wants to leave. Be okay if they found their own dream. Respect them enough. Be okay and still be there for them when they want your help and when they need your help. It's life. And we all know.
There were a couple of things that you mentioned. Yeah, I do agree with that. That message for real. And I'm glad that you mentioned it. It's totally fine, right? Don't be bitter towards them. Be okay with that. They have their own lives and it's fine. If you're still passionate about the dream, it means it's your responsibility, right? Your passion reveals to you what your responsibility is. Okay. But there's something else that you mentioned, which I thought was pretty dope. You said that I told you that it's not hard, it's challenging. Yes, and I don't remember saying that.
Oh, I don't remember. I might talk a lot, but I do listen very carefully when people talk.
Yeah, I don't remember saying that, but I wanted to clarify what hard versus challenging is, right? Because some people might just hear that and think, oh, but that's the same thing. The truth is, if you have this mindset of, oh, dang, that thing is hard, then I know personally, I'm just not going to feel like doing that thing. Because who wants to go through life dealing with hardship?
No one.
Not me. I don't want to have to deal with something that's hard. I would prefer it to be easy. Some people do like when things are a little hard, and
it motivates some people.
It motivates some, but a lot of people that I know, and myself included, just if you hear, oh, that thing is hard, you're going in the opposite direction than that thing, people, right? Yes. But if you say to yourself, oh, this is challenging, it's then telling me that, okay, this is not something that I'm necessarily familiar with. This is not something that I am right now able to apply my skills to, but is it impossible? No. Challenging means that I am going to get it eventually. Challenging means that I don't have it right now, but I will have it soon, right? Whereas hard means this is impossible. I'm moving in the opposite direction. And also when I hear hard, it just feels to me like burden, and I don't want to feel burden. But when I hear challenge, it sounds more like, let's work towards this so that it can then become less and less challenging to me as I do it more often, right? And then another thing that you mentioned, which I really love, when you're like, I was waiting to be a successful business person before I help someone else with their business. And you're saying that we don't all have to be in the same space to advise each other. That is so true. I always tell people that. And I always tell people that when it comes to the topic of relationships, because you have some people who are in long-term relationships that they have maybe some issues going on in their relationship, and maybe somebody else who has not been in a relationship for a very long time, or maybe has never been in a long-term relationship, is then trying to give a suggestion or an advice. And so the person
who are not in relationship always trying to give advice.
Right. It's true though. And it can be frustrating too. I'm like, what you over here trying to tell me about me and my man? Come on now. I'm going through all of this and you was just born yesterday. What are you telling me? And it's true, like, but I think about it. No, but I think about it.
Somebody, I'm sorry. I knew this was gonna happen. Go ahead.
You knew it was gonna happen. No, because and then I, initially I was like, okay, I understand you're not wanting advice from someone who's not in the same boat as you, but the truth is you are drowning right now. You cannot get advice from somebody who's drowning right beside you because they are trying to survive themselves, right? So if you really want advice, sometimes you have to take it from the person who is on dry land, who is on the shore, who is not drowning. Maybe because that person is then able to reach down to help you up out of the water so that you're no longer drowning. So it is good to get advice from people who are in the same space as you, but usually people who are in the same space as you, the conversation is less of, okay, mentorship, and it's more of, oh, let's just talk about the problems that we have so we can feel so we can have our USA moment so that we can get things off of our chest. Usually when someone is in the same space as you, that's what the conversation between you and them is like. But if you want mentorship, you usually are going for the person who is not necessarily in that same space, who has either already been there and is farther along than you, or who has never been there, but from where they stand, they can observe something that you can't see because they can give you a solid advice. So don't take advice from someone who is drowning right there with you. Because both of y'all are going to be drowned. Like it's going to be the blind leading the blind kind of situation, right?
This is going to be the highlight of the whole conversation today.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So what I'm saying is be open to getting advice from people who are not necessarily in the same space as you. And you have to be open. You have to allow yourself to be that advice and be that help for someone who maybe you think is like way above you, who's going through a lot more than you are, and you don't understand what they're going through. God has deposited in you information that they don't have. So still, you're not too young to advise someone. You're not too inexperienced to advise someone. If you have the information, if you see something that they don't see, you have every right to tell them, and hey man, this is what I see, and this is how I think you can possibly get through this, right? Of course, it depends on the kind of relationship you have with the person.
With the person, of course.
That matters too. So it's very conditional, but all I'm saying is like be open to being that mentor to someone who might be 10 years older than you. It's fine.
It's funny how I that you brought this thing up, and I'm gonna try to make it short, because if I wanted to really get all into everything you said, as I was trying to write it down with my cute little pen, we'll be here all night, all day. But I did want to just, if I can make this 5 minutes short, I wanted to say that when you first spoke about the whole giving advice situation, it's funny because I find myself in every situation there could possibly be. I mean, every single day. And I love it because number one, it is my job as a life coach. I mean, you meet different people. That's what I've studied. I've been studying it. I took classes in it, like, because I don't know everything at the end of the day, right? So I still want to make sure that, I'm diverse in all different kinds of situations. But when it comes to personal life, especially, I find myself in situations of, I'm telling you, like, married couples are coming to me. Yes, married couples are coming to me and asking me questions about marriage and situations like that. So it's funny. I do give the advice that I know at the time, and I make it very clear. This is what I know at this time, right?
Right.
And this is what I can give you. But I don't act like I know it all. And I
No,
feel
don't
like
ever.
that is the problem and the issue that we have, because most people feel like because someone came and asked them about something, or advice, or an advice about something, they feel the need to give them all the information, even if it's false information that they're not sure about. For example, I personally, okay, this is not for anyone, but I personally would never tell anyone to leave their marriage. Never, ever. And I would never, ever tell anyone to leave their relationship. I will give you the tools and I would give you advice to what I know, to the level that I know of right now, because life is a growth and I might know more later, but what I know now is what I would advise you on and tell you about. So, and again, I find myself in situations where people are asking me about relationship. Relationships are one of the hardest, complex things to talk about,
Very
because
complex. Very complex.
everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's situation is different. You might even have someone coming to you and with the same situation, but it's different circumstances. You might have someone who's going to come to you with the same circumstances, but different situation. But every individual is different. And you also have to remember, when two people in a relationship are having problems, believe me and you, they're not telling you everything. I don't care how honest they are. There are some things that two couples will never tell you about. So this is why it's really hard and difficult, I would say challenging, to talk about, to give advice on relationships, right? And I always say, anytime someone comes to me with a relationship issue, I always say to them, there's two sides to a story. I never jump on the wagon and say, let's say she's my girlfriend or whatever. I never say, oh, damn, he's a bad man, just leave him, dump him, just no. Because I know even if she might be a very close friend of mine, and she might have been my best friend, and she might have been my childhood friend, and I've known this woman for 1,000 years, I know for sure there is something she is not telling me about that relationship. So when the moral of the story is, when you give advice, know your place as a person giving advice. Be fair enough not to just throw out information to this person just because they came to you. Because you have to remember, when they're coming to you, they're very vulnerable at that time. They're going to most likely take everything or most of the things you tell them and go and take action on that. So if this is a person that's close to you and you care about them that much, the good advice you will give them, especially when they're upset and mad, is tell them to take a seat in the corner. That's that corner for me. Take a seat in the corner and really think about what they did that was wrong, opposed to focusing so much on what the other person did. Because a lot of time when we're upset, all we could see is what the other person did. And we never really sit there and think about what we did. It's easier to blame others, very easy to blame others. It's just natural that we just blame others, no matter how good you are, no matter how mindful you are, no matter how, how many degrees you got, and I don't care how spiritual you are. It is so easy to blame others for what happened. And it's so easy also to see someone's action instead of their intention. Because sometimes someone might have a pure intention and good intention for someone who they love, for someone who they care for, but the action they take is what that other person see. So it's so easy to think that someone is, I don't know, after you for your money. Someone is after you for what you have. Someone is after you for whatever the situation might be, but it's hard to see their intention. And sometimes we might mean well. We might really mean well for this person, for this friend, or for this partner that we have, but our actions are not in line with our intention. And that's why I said earlier, intentions equals action, priorities equals action, choices equals action. Everything and anything in life that we do, our actions will reflect. no matter how hard you try to hide it, it's going to reflect, because it's just new human nature. Even have you noticed when you're upset, no matter how hard you try to keep this inside of you and act normal, when you walk in a room, your walk is different, the way you're talking is different, the way you're acting is different. Now, if you've been in a long-term relationship, or you're probably with your friend or whatever that knows you very well, and you try to smile behind this hardship that you're going through, someone who knows you well said, oh, there's something wrong with you, you're acting a little different today, what's wrong, are you okay? And most of us will say, oh, well, I'm doing fine, I'm good, nothing is wrong. But they always say you could see somebody smiling their eyes. So you can smile with your face, walking around, but your eyes would tell how you're feeling. And this is, another level of trying to read somebody's body language, of how somebody sits. Like with a minor human resource, again, I don't reflect everything on books, but with a minor in human resource, you learn how to read, someone's body language, especially when they come to a job interview. You learn how to read somebody's body language when you're having a conversation with them about what happened in the workplace. And you learn just so much. Even being a life coach, I'm sure you know this yourself, being a life coach, you learn how to read somebody's body language. I'm not saying 1,000% someone's body language reflects 1,000% on their truth. I'm just saying it will give you a little bit of something about what they're going through or what's going on. You might not know exactly what it is, but you might be able to figure out that there is something wrong. And that's when you start to use these words that you can use to really ask them about what something is going on, because sometimes you might just have to ask somebody a question indirectly to find out what's going on. And why? That doesn't mean you're being dishonest or you're scared of asking them a question, but everyone that you're dealing with is different. They're all different individuals. They all think differently. They all act differently. They all, react to situations differently. So as a professional on your end, you want to make sure that this person is not uncomfortable around you. And when it comes to family members, you have to make sure you do not judge. You remove that judgmental situation. You don't say, well, Jessica, has a habit of doing this all the time in her relationship. So when she comes to you about her current relationship, now you're thinking about her old relationship and just kind of like reflecting that on the current relationship. And she might not have done anything wrong to, to cause what has happened. So this is why a lot of time, they say it's easier to talk to a stranger than talking to someone That takes me to another conversation. But and this is why most people seek life coaching, life coaches, therapists, psychiatrists, and any help that they can get outside. Is better to pay for it and talk to a stranger where and you are sure that your information is kept confidential and is not going to be spread to John and Becky and stuff like that. Opposed to telling your best friend.
With being a life coach, whether it is your family member, your best friend, or a complete stranger that comes to you as a life coach, you should always come, of course, as you said before, non-judgmental. But my thing is, when I am talking with people, I am, in addition to being non-judgmental, well, what helps me to not be judgmental is just to treat them like a blank, clean slate.
Yes.
Right? Or in the conversation that we're about to have, I kind of, in my imagination, present to them a very clean canvas and allow them to paint on it. And I don't give them the color paint. I don't give them the type of brushes or anything. I just allow them to come with their own paint, with their own colors, with their own brushes. Whatever kind of strokes they want to stroke for their painting, let them do it, but I just really try to come with that canvas, that empty, clean canvas that has absolutely nothing on it. And I tell them, hey, you come with your paintbrush, you come with your paint, right? And I may not literally say that, but how I do say that is come with your pencil and your journal. Because I encourage people in our sessions to do journaling. So that's my version of come with your paint and paintbrush. And then I am your canvas, you know what I'm saying? So instead of thinking about the canvas that you painted last week for our last session, I am thinking about this new canvas right now because it's blank. Again, it's a blank slate. And then at some point when you were talking, you mentioned that, you have to read body language. Yes, that is important too, because someone can say one thing but mean another. So really what happens is when I am listening to people, which I'm sure you do too, is you look at the body language, you look at the facial expression. I love looking at facial expressions. I love listening to the tone of people's voices, right? I love listening to the pace at which they speak. Are they usually a fast talker, but suddenly when I ask them this question, they're speaking very slowly? Are they stuttering a little bit more than they usually would? Or are they speaking quite confidently on this thing? Because that can inform me. So, and then also the facial expression, I look at the shoulders also. Are they up, perked up like this, or are they down like this? Suddenly, do you usually sit up? And then as soon as we started talking about this topic, you're like suddenly slouching. So all of these are pieces of information. That's what I look at it as, pieces of information that I'm collecting to then have an idea of what this person is communicating to me. And then when I say to them, okay, this is what I'm understanding from what you're saying, then they tell me that, yes, that's exactly what I really mean to say. Or they say, no, actually, what I mean is A, B, C, D, right? So that's the next thing. As a life coach, you don't want to assume anything. That's why even if it's very obvious what they are saying, I still restate it. I say, are you saying A, B, C?
Yes.
And then give them an opportunity to say yes or no.
And we also,
right? So,
as life coach, you have to make sure that you have to be honest with yourself, very honest with yourself, because you want to make sure that you're not biased. And if you see that and know that you're biased against a certain client and you're going to be biased, we know ourselves, don't take on that client. Because again,
for sure.
going back to judgmental situations, if you, this is why I always say, being a life coach is more to just sitting there and just listening to someone speak, or just, letting someone just vent to you. In my sessions, what I actually do is, because I believe this is a myth, right? The myth is our job is 70% of listening and 30% of talking, if I got the numbers right. So I believe in having conversations. I believe that when you have a conversation with someone, it's better. They feel more comfortable. They feel like, because most people are coming to life coaches because they don't want to go to a therapist for one reason. And I did a research on this. One of the reasons is that they don't want to feel like they're going somewhere for help, like there is a mental situation, not mental health, but like is an emotional thing. So they don't want to feel like they're going for help, and they want to feel more comfortable. They want to feel like they're talking to a sister or a brother, or like someone they're familiar with. So most of my clients like to have conversations. And I didn't ask them, do you want to have a conversation? I just kind of had a conversation with them, opposed to just sitting there and letting them talk throughout the whole, 45-minute session or 1 hour session. And after this conversation, you can see that they're opening up and they're feeling so comfortable to actually say things, opposed to when you just let them really speak and ask them one question after every 10 minutes, So that's the way I run, my life coaching business. And that's how I deal with my client. And I have become very successful in that. And I feel like every business and every life coaching, business that everyone has, I feel like everyone has their own ways of just running their business. We're all different, we're all different. We all think differently. We all react to people differently. So I feel like that is the beauty of this job. I guess I don't want to call it a job. It doesn't feel like a job. I love it so much, but that is the beauty of what we do, because we're able to be ourselves, and we're able to, it's so funny. You're able to change not who you are, but your, personality, or the way you would speak to every single individual, because everyone that comes across you are so different, with different situations and circumstances, and they're all on this different life journey, and they all have different goals, and they all have different morals and beliefs, and they're all from different, all over the world. And it's just, at the end of the day, when you sit and you really think, and you just say to yourself, wow, like, people are really so different, and people are so unique, and people are so blessed even when they don't feel blessed at the moment. Some of them, some clients will come and they're so down, and by the time they leave your session and they're like, oh my God, I feel so alive. But again, everybody's different. It might take someone, 3 sessions or 5 sessions or a whole year to get to that place, and it might take someone 2 months to get to that place. It might take someone, I don't know, a day to just have that thing say, ooh, thank God, I just needed that click. I needed to hear that word, and that person just disappears out of nowhere. But but it's rewarding to know that you were, a part in someone's life to help them get there, because you also have your own experience, and you also, as a life coach, or you're on this life journey in a path to get there, to get somewhere. But because you have the tools, and you're going a little faster, or it's okay, and you know how to like balance the thing. And believe me, a lot of life coaches also have life coaches. A lot of therapists go to see therapists. So,
I've had a life coach
it's healthy
before.
to do that. It's healthy to, we're not perfect. We're also on this journey. So yeah, that's all I had to say, to you about that session. Unless if you want to talk about something else, but if you want to wrap it up, let me know. If you don't, let's keep talking.
No, that's fine. So I was mentioning how so you mentioned how everybody's session is run differently because everybody's different and all that, and that is absolutely true. And that's why in my consultation, I find it so important to let people know. At the end, I let them know at the beginning, say the purpose of this is to just kind of do a dry run, like a quick run through of how I conduct my sessions. And then if it is beneficial to you, you let me know, and vice versa. I want to know if I am a good fit for you, but I also want to know if the client are a good fit for me. Because it's a two-way street now, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you do have to find out if you're feeling uncomfortable, or maybe as though you would not be the best fit for this client for whatever reason. Be honest with yourself and decide, hey man, this may not work out, and then suggest someone else to them. Right. And it's the same way we should allow the client an opportunity to say yay or nay to us. So that's kind of how I do it with the consultation. It's just important because all personalities don't gel well. They just don't. And that's fine. Some people don't like my personality, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, you can't be the match for everybody.
Definitely. Can't be the match for everybody. Yeah. But yeah, I do agree with you on the fact that it is an extremely rewarding kind of job. I do enjoy it too. I don't feel like I'm doing a job. I always feel like I'm just having heart to heart with people. And at the end of the sessions, I get to pour into them. I get to make them feel better. I get to make them feel clearer and just more sure about what next steps they need to take. And it's always good to know that, they have experienced some revelation, something that they weren't aware of before, they have now become aware of. Because I believe awareness and clarity are important, very important ingredients to a successful, well-tasting meal. Right. And so if I were to refer to life as the meal, I would refer to clarity and revelation as the ingredients to season that meal. Right. Because without it, it's joint going to be, bland, and we don't like bland food. Right. So that's how I look at it. It's very rewarding. I love to do it. And after every session, I could feel physically tired, but I feel
because you're consuming a lot, you're sitting there thinking about what I have in store for this same client. What can I do to help them move forward? It's more so about them than you,
or you're just tired because it's the end of the day.
And imagine having,
I still do a 9 to 5 and then have to hop on a session afterwards. So
imagine having 3 clients in one day. 3. Imagine that.
That's a lot. But when you love what you do,
you have to be different with every individual. Not like I said, you're still who you are in the heart, and you're still who you are mentally, physically, emotionally, but you just have to, in line with that person's situation at the time, you have to be an active listener. Very important. You have to be an active listener. And, and also you have to be very strategic with your words. Not that you're afraid to say anything to them, but you have to be strategic with your word, and you have to be an active listener. So with those things, that you're doing, it's almost like, I don't know if you've drove the Uber before, but I have. So it's like driving the Uber for 8 hours, or just driving in general for so long. And when you get home, your brain is so tired, like you can feel it. And people think it's a physical, I mean, your back is tired because you've been sitting for, 8 hours. And I mean, maybe you might went to the bathroom, but it's just tiring on your body, especially mentally, because it's like driving. You're thinking, you don't feel like you're thinking, but you're thinking, you're looking at the red light, the green light, the orange light. You're making sure that the passengers are not walking, and it's just a lot of things. So I always kind of relate driving to life coaching. I don't know how that's gonna make any sense, but I always do it that way, because either way, you have to be just a fast thinker at all point, thinking, and listening very proactively as well. So yeah, that's what I have to put out there, unless if you want to add something else to this. One thing, by the way, we forgot to do the introduction. I'm sure somebody's going to email me and say, Miriam, you didn't do the introduction. Someone did that to me before. Oh, I don't feel welcome in your video, because welcome watching your video. This was a friend of mine. He wanted to be funny. He was like, I don't feel welcome when I watch your videos because you never introduce yourself. I was like, well, no, it says it right there. You want me to give a bio every time I start? But even though it's towards the end, do you want to give a little introduction about yourself? I think you know yourself more than I do, so I won't do it. You go ahead. Put it out there.
Okay. I always feel weird when people ask me these questions, because it's like, what do I say? I have
a
whole life. I've lived 28 years and I just have a lot to say. I don't know, how do I condense it into just a few words? But I am a 28-year-old. Let's start there. My name is Shanese Powell. Okay. I am a life coach, and I've chosen the path of life coach for obvious reasons. It is very rewarding. I love talking with people. People are beautiful, wonderful human beings. And, they just deserve to be doted on. They deserve attention. They deserve to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? And so as a life coach, I get to do that. And so, yeah, that's why I do it. And what else? My business is called Dreams, Passions, Purpose.
She's wearing it. Look at her sweater.
Yes, I'm wearing it right here.
Yes.
It's DPP for short. And you see, what each of the letters represents.
Very simple.
Minimalist, because that's my style.
Yes.
Right. And also straight and right to the point. Dreams, live them. That's what it says here. It's reminding you guys, hey man, you have some dreams. And as we first,
like we talked about, yep.
Let's hit the ground running and start putting some steps to our dreams so that we can
believe in yourself.
Make it happen.
Yes.
Yes. So actually live them. Don't just dream it, think it up when your eyes are closed, but live them. Right.
Write it down if you have to.
Write it down if you have to.
Talk about somebody that just talk about it. Take action. Action. If we did not take action, we would not be here on this video today, running our mouth for 1 hour and probably 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But we're taking action, and we know no one is going to really sit there and watch this for 1 hour and 25 minutes straight. But please, start it, stop it, come back to it. You might find something in this video that actually motivates you, that gives you that, like Oprah said, aha moment, so just take your time, watch it, and just, I'm going to put her info. She's also a YouTuber, I believe, right? This is why I said talk about yourself, because
that's so funny, because I don't even consider myself a YouTuber. I just post videos on YouTube because it is a place that people can go to view my videos. So I wouldn't officially call myself a YouTuber.
Someone called me a YouTuber last time, so that's why I'm calling myself a YouTuber. I said I post videos on YouTube, like, oh, you're a YouTuber. I was like, all right, let's call it that. And then a few years ago, I wrote 2 books and never published it. Someone was like, oh, you're a writer. So I was like, okay, I'm a writer. So
you are a writer when you write.
I guess I have more titles that I haven't discovered yet. So as we go through life, we'll discover these things, and thank God for the people that we have conversations with that would help us realize these things, and as for me, I think everyone who have been watching my video knows who I am, and I'm so bad at introducing myself, but my name is Miriam, and I am a certified life coach, a writer, and also a YouTuber, and an inspirational speaker. I am not a motivational speaker. I am an inspirational speaker. There's a difference, but that's another conversation to have next time. We're not going to get into that. So thank you for watching my video. and this is Shanese, and she will definitely be back. We'll have more things to talk about. The reason why we didn't have a specific topic today is because we always have these long conversations on the phone, and it doesn't start off with nothing. It just one thing leads to another and one thing leads to another. So when I invited her as my first guest, you should be blessed. Miriam has the first guest. So when I asked her, she just jumped on a wagon. When, where, how do you want us to do it? No problems at all. And actually she beat me. She was early before me. I was late, 5 minutes late for my own session, but that's okay. What happened again? So yeah, so she'll be back, I'm sure, and we will be touching on a specific topic when she does come back next time. The reason why I didn't choose a topic around this time is because I felt I just wanted you to get a gist of what will be happening here. It is called Let Us Talk About It. So I finally, with your support, I never told you this, you encouraged me the last time. I told you that I wanted to actually have guests on my YouTube. You're like, girl, go for it. And I was like, but I don't know. And you're like, girl, just go for it. So that's what I did. I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, I do actually know people that would be willing to do this with me.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people.
And they were like, Miriam, if you don't mind being on there, you're too funny. I'm like, I'm going to try to remain very professional. I did a good job today, right? I wasn't cracking up the whole time.
Yeah. You did do a good job, but I don't have no problem with you cracking up though. So
I play too much, so I was like,
you should play
professional. So
that's how we usually be on the phone for too long, because you crack up good and you give some good jokes. So
I was like, no jokes today. I'm gonna try to stay on topic. As you can see, I see
you making that effort. I wasn't even
writing on the Chipotle paper. I was like, look, it had food on it. I was like, I'm gonna stay on topic today. We're gonna write this down and we're gonna see. You notice I kept on going back to intention, and I was like, all right, we're gonna stay on topic today, Miriam. Stay on topic. Stay on topic. Do not get off the topic. So,
Well, Miriam, I'm really glad to even be in this space with you, because I remember just meeting you back at BMC.
I know we reconnected, right?
We connected through the Women Resource Center, and we went to that, we did like a retreat or something. And that was when we connected, and I'm really glad that we stay connected.
I know. And then I saw you post on Facebook. I'm like, I know her.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I messaged you, right? And girl, I did not message anyone on Facebook like that. So when I messaged you, I was like, oh, this is a little weird. And then, we just had a conversation. I was like, girl, I'm getting off of this messenger. Can you send me your number? Because I can't do this.
I know, right?
And you sent me your number, and we were supposed to set up a phone call, and you tried reaching out to me for like 1 week. I'm sorry. And you didn't get me. I was like, damn, she's not going to want to talk to me anymore. But then I reached back out to you, and I was like, I've been busy. It was crazy at the time. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest with you. God knows, but I was just really busy. But I'm glad, we reconnected. You said yes to be my first guest. I owe you a lot when I start being a millionaire. I might just don't call me too much for my own money, because no. But I will help you in the ways I can. Help you. I'm just being honest, you might have to, go through some certain means to reach out to me, through security and everything. But
right. Yeah. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be this easy.
Exactly.
Anymore.
So if you thought a week of reaching out to me was hard, just imagine you're gonna have to wait a whole month to just get to talk to me. But it is, I'm so glad we reconnected, and I hope that we continue to send a message out to everyone about the importance of self-love and being, and being self-motivated. Self-love, being self-motivated, believe in yourself. Do not depend on the likes on social media. Like yourself first before anyone can like you. And, trust God, stay still, be still. If you feel confused and you feel anxiety, just sit down, relax. It will all be okay. As for me, for the most part, and for every part actually, God has been so good to me. The universe has been so good to me. I had to make a lot of changes in the past 2 years, and 2021 was intense changes. Those who will stay, those who will leave. And what is for you will always be for you. So just believe in yourself. Always get up in the morning and just attack your goals. attack your goals, do what you have to do. Don't be afraid to call and ask for help. That's another thing I've learned in 2021. Going into 2022, open your mouth, call somebody, say, I need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. It does not show that you're weak. It actually shows your strength. Asking for help is strength. It's not weakness. So ask for that help. Ask that question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb about that whole situation is not asking the question, because you could dodge a bullet or two if you ask that question. Everything I'm saying right now, I learned the hard way. So that's why I'm putting it out there. I was one of those people, who thought I was big and bad and knew everything. So I didn't really ask the question. I thought I could take care of everything. I thought I could, with that, I learned a lot of things down the line, but also I feel like I could have dodged a bullet or two in terms of, being selective with the people I invite in my life, that I let in my space, and, set boundaries, no matter who you are, set the boundaries out there. And it's just, make sure you set healthy boundaries too. Set healthy boundaries. And before you can set boundaries with anyone else, make sure you set boundaries with yourself. Because I always say, you want somebody to treat you well, treat yourself well first. You want somebody to respect you, respect yourself first. You want to set boundaries for other people, set boundaries for yourself first. You want to be spiritually there, be spiritually there for yourself first. You want to have a loving relationship, be that loving person. You want to have a great husband, be a great wife. You want to start, you want to find somebody that eats healthy. You eat healthy first. You want someone to look with a 6-pack, make sure you got a 1-pack or 2-pack, some kind of pack, because don't expect somebody to look a certain way and go to the gym all the time. And you're not doing that. Remember, what you do will reflect on who comes into your life. Your reflection is a mirror of who you invite in your life. So that's all I want to say. I'm gonna stop talking right now, because I know you want me to shut up and get up here and go do what you gotta do. So thank you so much for being on here. We should have been off of this like 10 minutes ago, but I just keep talking. But I'm just really excited to have you on here. And thank you so much for taking your time that I cannot give you back, because you did, leave your time to come and be on here. And time is, very,
I loved it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time. And, I wish that whatever time you've given me, someone will give you that same time in return. It might not be me, I'm just being honest, but someone else gives it to you. So thank you. And just keep spreading the word. People check her. I'm going to put her page somewhere on the YouTube down there, I think. So check it out. And if you want any information about her clothing line, which is Dreams,
Passions,
and Purpose. Yes. Dream, Passion, and Purpose. So if you want any information on that, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to her if I put her information down there. But if you want, just reach out to me. I will connect you with her. And they're not expensive, so just support the business. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone have a nice week ahead, nice weekend, nice month. We're still into the New Year's, by the way, so it's not too late to make any changes. It's just March. It's New Year's till it's June to me. Half of the year is New Year's is over. So happy New Year's, happy Women's History Month, happy everything, so stay blessed. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here because I got somewhere to go. Oh, by the way, I didn't just for nothing. I'm going somewhere, so I just thought I killed a stone. You thought I got cute to sit on here? No, I'm going out.
And what's wrong with that? You need to be cute.
I'm always cute, but I'm just saying. Let me stop. Let me get off of here. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Later.